This is Bless the Mic, episode 14.
Yeah. Welcome back.
Welcome back. It's been a long time. Shout out to the west side, northwest side of the city, man. Shout out to Pike Township. The soil's crazy.
I like this place.
The soil's crazy over here. It really is. I tell people that all the time.
Now, I was on the east side. My shoes got dirty yesterday.
Let's be respectful.
No bullshit. My shoes were dirty. Just staying on the east side, I was upset. It was some kind of brown soot on the bottom and around my shoe.
It was good, clean soil.
That's why the cicadas went out there.
Yep.
This season.
The only thing the west side got is the food and the bitches.
All right, sounds good to me.
That's a lot of.
Those are two of my favorite things.
Those are two solid boxes.
Sounds rich in resources.
Yeah,
it smells cleaner out east. I get it.
I'll stay on this side of town for that.
For sure. Listen, man. Round of applause, man. Rob Hardy in the building. Yes, a Pike legend.
Yeah.
Indeed. You know what I mean? Things come full circle, man. Shout out to Rob for being here with us, man.
No doubt, man. I appreciate y'all.
For sure. So this is Bless the Mic. Before we get into the interview, we always ask our participants their top 5 favorite rappers of all time for you.
Yeah.
Not just in general, but for you, man. Who are your top 5 favorite rappers, man?
My top 5, easy, man. I'm going to go Jay-Z, K-Dot, or Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole. Pac is in my top 5.
That last one's tough.
It is.
I feel like you're leaving everybody out at that point.
Yeah, I would say my top 5 is definitely going to be between Nas and Big. And just for what they did, you know, to the game. Sometimes you go back and you listen to the music, man, and you be like, you know, production back then is we've come a long way from production.
True.
You know, for production and
Very
stuff.
true.
But as far as like words and content and just what they put together at the time, Nas and Big got to be mine.
Yeah, niggas was making masterpieces with boom bap.
Yeah, man, it really was
lunch table beats.
You know, and no shots at the producers back then. They did what they did with what they had, but back then, you know, production I feel like carries the game right now. You know, it's some people. The production is the big thing on a track now. Then it was straight lyrics.
The crazy thing is, niggas back then would go crazy for them beats too. I was watching the Wu-Tang series. And he's like, "Oh, this shit is fire, bro."
Yeah.
And it was like, "Oh, this beat is cold. How you make this before? It's crazy."
Yeah.
What is that? That's a hi-hat. I just got it. Oh, that came out like 2 weeks ago.
That's wild.
Nah, man, but shout out to Rob Hardy, man, for being in the building. Just released the project, man.
Yeah.
Spun the whole thing.
Perfect timing, man.
Perfect timing, man. Just this weekend, right?
Just this weekend, man. We
September
had
24th.
mass success with it too. I think we hit maybe 150,000 streams.
That's
over
love.
the weekend, man. So we just you know, thankful for all the fans for real. Like, man, I couldn't even imagine it having that kind of success in this short period of time. But I appreciate every last stream and every time they hit that play button. I feel it, man.
That's
Indeed.
tight. They giving you analytics like that now. That's Spotify doing that, right?
Yeah.
Spotify give it to you right away, which is very important.
Spotify's a little more on time with it. Apple Music, I probably won't really get no real stats from Apple until 7 days, 14 days into it before they
I think they gotta start converting to Spotify. I'm on Apple Music most times.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, me too. I'm an Apple guy. For sure.
I did the title thing for a minute, you know, to try to, you know, I support all things black, man, when it comes to clothes, liquor,
My dog.
anything I can. You know, even typically, man, it's crazy because I just partnered with the dude from here, my boy Big O Aaron. He got Giamo Clothing.
Okay.
So we just partnered together, did a collaboration. We'll have a whole line of merch coming out here soon. But typically when you see me like, you know, doing stuff, if I'm not in, you know, a jersey or Nike, I don't really do the designer stuff in front of the camera. It's always a black-owned brand. I wear Master of Original. I went to college with that dude, K-Dot. He from up north, East Chicago or something like that, Indiana.
That's real.
I wear his gear.
The region.
I wear Giamo gear, which, like I said, is my boy from the crib. It's another brand I've been wearing a lot of. But if I find out it's black-owned and I know you in any kind of way and, you know, we get together.
Got a cop.
Yeah, that's what I do. I purchase from them, and that's what I wear when they see me, you know, in front of the camera for the most part.
That's real, man.
I like this guy.
Indeed.
I do these things.
For sure.
Yeah.
I try to as well.
Yeah, it's important.
And it's easier
man.
now
It's
too, because I feel like the creative community, man, the black creative community is super, super prevalent. Everywhere you turn, you
Yeah.
can definitely cop something to wear, cop something to support from black creatives.
No doubt, no doubt.
But yeah, I want to actually talk about your success
Yeah.
because you just came into the game within a year. So how were you able to just, you know what I mean, make this big splash, you know, within this short amount of time as a rapper?
Being strategic with it, honestly, man. So, it's coming up on a year for me, man. My first release was October 2nd of 2020. That was my first release.
Really?
And people laugh, man, because I tell them my first time in a studio recording was September of 2020.
That's
the
crazy.
first time I ever stepped into the studio. But as we said, man, even when it comes to that creative culture and stuff for black people, like when I decided to do it, I'm like, I do this though. Like cafeteria growing up, lunch tables, we spitting. We coming down the street, we spitting. Niggas sitting around playing video games, spitting. And I'm like, we do this. This is our culture. This is what we do. So for me, I'm like, I want to start putting my shit out. You know, we had a little microphone at our crib in college. We played around, but I had never been in a studio. And so, you know, post-college, I worked tons of jobs, made tons of money, and I'm like, something is missing, you know what I'm saying? Like the corporate America wasn't fitting me. You know what I mean? I'm like, I can't use my creative push in that. So the luxury I had when I started rapping was that I understood the game costs money. You know what I'm saying? And I had, you know, money. Most people start off, they struggle with success early, but it's strictly funding. Studio time costs, production costs, you know, the producer
Marketing.
want their money.
Yeah.
Marketing costs, all of that. So when I stepped into it, I already had a leg up and understanding for that. And then I just watched the pieces to the puzzle for other people.
That's real.
So the success I've had has been like no time wasted. You know what I'm saying? Like when we put together a track and it's time to release it, we looking at the marketing push, like how can we get it in front of fans? How do we, you know, do this where I feel like some people think, man, if I make a hot ass song and just put it out there, the world gonna find it.
No,
That
sir.
is not how
you
it
know what I'm
works.
saying? And so
It will not be found.
I got a lot of songs in my library that
Yeah.
are fire.
Yeah.
Only if I've heard them.
yeah, and that's real. And that's real. And then like having good people around me that put me on game and just was like, you know, talking to me. I had the luxury of going to Atlanta and working with Boosie. Literally,
I was just about to mention that.
yeah. So I went and worked with him. Like I said, my first time in the studio was in September. I dropped the single. I hadn't even dropped the single yet. Actually, my first time in the studio was in September. I had sent some stuff to some people I know, like, give me y'all feedback, what y'all know. And dude hit me right away and was like, hey, I know Boosie's manager or whatever. I'd like to get you there.
That's crazy.
Torrance Hatch, rap legend.
Yeah,
For sure,
yeah,
man.
for
That's
sure.
crazy, man. Shout out to Lil Boosie. And what's
No doubt.
and to add to that, you have a project with Mark Battles.
Yeah.
The very first project you put out, you know what I'm saying? You got the most successful rapper from our city
Yeah.
on a project. And I feel like for a lot of people, man, it doesn't happen that way. Can you
don't,
just talk
man.
about that connection? How you able to do that?
Yeah. Mark, so I went to school with Mark, and like I said, it wasn't like I leaned on Mark like, hey, what's up, man? You know, can you help me out? Please. Nah, like I went through, you know, even though I knew him, I never mentioned it to him. I reached out to his manager. What's the feature price? What's it gonna cost for us to get in the studio and stuff? Cause I ain't want him to think. The thing I tell people is when you ask somebody
This is
for
crazy.
a favor,
Yeah.
they gonna give you that favor treatment. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? I get to it when I can. You know, man, let me just get in here and knock his verse out. I don't fuck around with that.
I got an invoice.
You know what I'm saying?
Get me together.
Yeah, I'm like, nah, whatever your price is, I'm gonna pay that price because when I get the content back, I need it to be your best, not let me hook my dog
Yeah,
up.
for sure.
So I
And
never even spoke to him. I went through management, had booked a session, came in town, and he hit me like maybe the day before. He texted me and he like, Nick, am I in the studio with you tomorrow? I'm like, yeah, bro, I already got it set. He said, bro, why you didn't tell me? I'm like, hey, I went through the team like anybody else is supposed to. And so then once we got there, we came up, with some fire tracks, and then
sure.
from there, man, we just
I'm sure he respected that.
Mark's feature on there is crazy nuts.
Yeah.
He got a K9 line. I was like, oh.
Yeah. Well, it's
going crazy.
It's crazy that you say that though, because there's 3 other tracks.
Oh.
We did 4. We did 4.
Wow.
Like, I did the EP.
We came. That's the crazy thing. We came in to do 1. He heard some of my stuff and he like, bro, you hold now. Like, I want to get on this track. So the Reborn you heard, it's not what I brought to him. I came in with a different beat. Shout out my producer Deuce Jones out of Detroit. He sent me a beat.
Another Deuce.
We went in. We did. We went in and we did that song. And I was like, man, let me just play you some of my shit, see how you feel. I played some of the tracks. He said, I want on that track.
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? So that's how the Reborn came about.
There's power. I just feel like you touched on some things we ain't hear before. Free game. For anybody watching this interview right now, there's power in actually doing things the right way. I kind of feel like sometimes we feel as though, well, if I know, bro, this should be easy.
It should be sweet.
Yeah.
Let me just send this DM. But actually approaching someone saying, man, I'm taking your craft and what you're doing seriously goes a long way as well.
Yeah.
So shout out to you for saying that, Rod, and also bringing the fact of the funding.
Oh, yeah. That's huge, man.
It's something that really goes into, can really help somebody else out, is actually having the capital behind it.
Yep.
I was watching an interview, I think it was just a clip. Who was it? Young Dolph. Young Dolph was, I think he was on a $1 billion worth of game podcast, and he said most rappers need at least 100,000 to push a single.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And it's crazy because
I'm trying to get the podcast off.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and people don't have it. So they try to figure out, how can I do it, outside of that, not having,
how can I beat
I
the
don't
game?
have that money, so how can I do it? And the 2 things I always say, man, is we got to value each other creatively and financially. You know what I'm saying? So that's like what you said. When I went to Mark or anybody, about the work, like, I value your craft creatively, and I value, your craft financially. I'm not taking a discount, because really that's me taking a shot at you. Like,
you ain't really worth that.
That's my dude. Nah, nigga, like, that's what you put the work in for.
Yeah.
I think you didn't mention the craft as much as just the fact that y'all got in the studio together. I feel like that's lost now.
Yeah, so that's one of my big things. I've been to Atlanta. I've been here a few times. Houston. I do stuff up in the Bay. Anytime I get a feature or I'm working with somebody, it's always in studio for me. Like, I don't like to
email me
nobody.
nothing.
Nah. Because I just want to I want you to feel my vibe and know where I'm going with the track. I can send it. I can type it in the email. You can read it.
Yeah.
And you might be like, oh, okay, I know where he going, what he thinking. But when we in that studio, when them LEDs is on and that mic is on, the engineers there, we going to come up with some shit that's going to be much different.
That's real, man.
I'm outside looking in, but I feel like you get the best stuff that way. I mean, some of my best verses could have been emailed. I had no idea, but I just assumed when you see somebody really like on some back and forth shit or real energy on the track, they had to be together.
Yeah.
Or they really know each other already.
For sure.
I want to bring up your content. And so, since you started in this creative space as a rapper, I feel like you've also had top tier content behind it.
I appreciate
the videos, the flyers, the photography.
Money man.
Everything has been top notch. You know what I mean? So can you just speak to the people on your team and why is that important for you to attack it this way?
Yeah.
A lot of people may be watching this. I kind of feel like sometimes they got the fire track, but they didn't invest anywhere else.
Nope.
You know what I mean? To make it blow up. You had a freestyle. Remind me of the track.
The Lemon Pepper
The
freestyle?
Spring. Crazy.
Yeah.
You had the video. You know what I'm saying? Your boys in the studio. I was like, damn, Rod really doing it. So just speak to that, man.
So, like I said, man, being a student of the game and really looking at it from the outside looking in, I've been a fan of hip hop since I was a kid, you know what I'm saying? But I look at it past the music. Like, I'm like, we see these niggas everywhere. When they ready to drop a project, TV, radio, you know what I'm saying? When we was growing up, now social media, you see them everywhere.
Yeah.
Trust me, when K-Dot get ready to drop that album, niggas gonna see Kendrick everywhere. He giving you a little bit now. He jumped on Reem shit. You know what I mean? That's how they do. Cole with the whole basketball thing, it's a marketing
It's a
push.
ploy.
That's how I felt, of like, you got to be out there. So I started really with the content. And I still, even with the content, I do everything with people I know or people that's black. So Top 5 Vision. Anytime I come to Indy, anytime I'm in the Midwest, I call him. Hey, pull up. And I've been knowing him since college. I played with him in college. He bring his camera, Chicago, Fort Wayne, Indianapolis. We done it all. He's there. When I'm out west, my dude Tristan, he was one of my players. When I coached college football,
Wow.
he was one of my players. He live out in Arizona now. I use him constantly. And the thing with the content, you know, like I appreciate you saying like the top tier content. The thing is, you know, we've tried and errored, you know, a number of times where I'm like, that's not it. I don't like that one. Let's push this. Let's do this. Let's do that. But the consistency piece is I don't change my team. If I don't like something, rather than switching people, I'm going to hold you accountable. I'm going to sit you down and say, hey, we got to get better with editing. You know what I mean? You got to get better with lighting, catching me, you know, here and there, because I know what I want to see.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or hey, this video took too long to get back. We got to get better with that. All those things, I hold the people accountable. So now we building that relationship. So when my content comes back to me, they gave me their best work because they know it ain't just
They don't want the
today.
follow-up
Tomorrow,
text.
I'm going
Yeah.
to call you and say, we back. We at it again.
Yeah.
We at it again. And they know it's consistent work. Again, like I said, when you ask for those favors, you get the shitty work. And they like,
Sure.
here you go.
One of your standout tracks, man, since you came onto the game, is Prayers.
Lost Prayers.
Lost
I
Prayers.
appreciate that. Yeah.
My favorite one.
Yeah, it's crazy, and it's down there. What, like 5 minutes? The song keep going, don't it? I think it's like 3 verses on there.
We
you know
ran
what
on
I
the
mean?
episode at least 10 times.
Yeah, people was
It's-
asking, like, man, what is that track, man? Shit hard. So I just want you to kind of speak on that because I think faith is a big part of, you know what I'm saying, who you are, and also, as you mentioned, uplifting the black community.
Yep.
You know what I mean? How has this 2020 as a whole impacted you and your music?
2020 was huge, man. My brother, so he was actually, I think they had him listed as like the first deathly ill COVID patient in Indiana. And so he was in a coma for 21 days in like March of 2020. So, you know, that's honestly where the music piece came from. Like I said, I coached college football. I worked as a financial advisor. I consulted for med device companies. I owned a trucking company, clothing line. You know, I've done a ton of stuff in that space. When my brother went into that coma, you know what I mean, things kind of slowed down. He came home. When he finally recovered, he said, he sat back and he's like, damn, man, like I'm 33 and I almost died. Like he was like, life could be over. Like whatever we want to do, we got to do this shit now. He came home in April. I started putting it together, finding content, finding beats. First time in the studio was August, and then we released it. But that's the message behind the music. Like he told me, bro, if you want to rap, do this shit now. Whatever you want to do it now. So we just jumped into it right away. So 2020 changed my life, really.
Yeah,
you know, it made
sure.
me see like all the other shit can make you money, but it's some boring shit if it ain't what you want to do. You know, it's like,
man.
you know, like, and ain't no reason to just walk through life doing no bullshit. So that's where Lost Prayers came from. Third song I ever wrote in my life was Lost Prayers.
That's
You
crazy.
know, song where I actually had wrote a song. You know, I fucked around with verses and stuff like I
Yeah.
said before. But the first song I put together top to bottom by myself was the Lost Prayers. And all I wanted to talk about was how 2020 changed me. COVID.
Yep.
You
Kobe
know,
was
Nip had
mentioned.
just died. Kobe. You know, like all that stuff changed me. You know what I'm saying? Kobe was my guy since I was a kid. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's real.
Nip, like when I got to LA, I never met Nip. I seen him, you know what I mean, like in the Staples Center and shit when events was going on. Being there, I see him. I never got a chance to like meet him or speak to him. But what I noticed was the people. When he walked through LA, everybody fucked with Nip. They like, oh, that's Nip. You know what I'm saying? That's why I mentioned him in the song, because I ain't seen nobody be so tapped in with the people to where a whole city that, you know, world gonna tell you is divided. The Crips, the Bloods, Compton, Inglewood, like it's so divided. Nah, it don't matter where you from in LA, nigga. That's Nip. You know what I'm saying? That's the first time I ever seen somebody handle, the people like that. So that's why I'm been a huge fan of him. Mention him in the song and stuff. So
for artists with like just a year's worth of work though, like there's a maturity to you, and I feel like you've like vaguely mentioned some of the parts of your life that you kind of been through, but like how has this stuff impact? You talking about college, coaching, corporate life? How's that? Is that in the music at all, or is that just the background stuff,
man? So like I said, even when I talked about my top 5 artists and stuff, Jay ain't dropped his first album till he was, 28, 29 or something.
He's a grown man.
Cole went to college and did other stuff before he came. K-Dot had been grinding in music for years. Pac was just an artistic and creative dude. But the thing is, I feel like the difference in them and other artists is experience, because you write about your life and what you see. When I was 18, 19, 20, if I would have tried to write a song, it would have been about bitches and crown and getting drunk at school, which is what young cats make music about if that's what they want to do. But for me, like once I got through different points in life, and I hit 30, I'm like, shit, I got a bunch of experiences to draw into, and it comes out in the music. And to me, it makes you a timeless artist rather than just burning out, because once you do get to a certain age, or just a certain point in your life, not necessarily age, how much can you talk about, bitches and drinking and shit?
That's
real. You're going to have to draw into real life stuff.
Yep.
But if you've been doing it so long one way, transition might be tough for you.
Yeah, it's a little jarring.
Yeah, so that's what it is for me. Like I tap into every experience, man. Anything that's ever happened to me, I might be talking to my mom and she might say, "You remember when y'all was a kids, y'all did this, this, and that." Unconsciously, it's in my mind when I get into the booth. Nigga, we was and then it becomes a piece of what you put in there.
I want to talk about your creativity as far as skits, TikTok. What I'm saying, the comedian aspect as well.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Why is that something that you see yourself doing down the road? Movies, TV?
No doubt. So, like I said, I love being creative, and it goes beyond music. If you put me in front of a camera, I like to see people having a good time. So if I can be funny and people smile and laugh, or even if I can portrays somebody else and give you a drama, but you feel it, I like that. I like, that's what I enjoy doing. So TV is something I'm definitely working on getting into. Actually just recently knocked out some commercials for some small brands and stuff. So I definitely am going to get into television, and just like I said, if it's the art for the people that entertains, you're going to see me in it.
That's real, man.
Yep.
That's real. Make sure y'all go and get Perfect Timing.
No doubt.
Rod Hardy.
All
he just
platforms.
gave you a lot of gems, man. This interview already. We geek to have you, man, for sure. What else can we expect from you this year? You just dropped the project. What else you working on?
I just dropped the project Friday, and yesterday we was in the studio working on the next project, and it's about
right back to it.
It's 75-80% done. Where you're gonna get 2 more EPs from me before the year is out, and I'm gonna give you really just 2 perspectives on this EP. One of them is gonna be, pouring my heart and soul, from, like I said, my life experience and stuff. The other one's gonna have some more party tracks on there, a little more fun, some shit you can spin when you blessing the bottle and get ready to go, and different stuff like that. So
making that move.
Yeah, and instead of putting them together on one project, I'm gonna give them to you in 2 projects, so I can keep you in that mood.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. With whatever
sequencing feels right there. It ain't just like
Yep.
So
this is, I would say, like I said, we about 75-80% done. All that, give it November, December, you're gonna have them both ready to go.
Let's go, man. Let's go. I know you out in LA, but just what's your perspective, man, on, I always ask this question on Bless the Mic, especially for our independent artists from this area.
Yep.
What's your perspective on hip hop in that, you know what I mean? And what are you bringing different to this game in this space?
Yeah, so I'm from here, man. So, You know, I don't. You know, I say what I want about Nap. This is home for me. You know, what I mean, this is my place. And the thing I say is we gotta be more creative. You know, the thing that I see coming out of Indy is like too many niggas trying to be like other people. You know what I'm saying? Like this is Nap. We got our own culture. You got your own, you know, style. You got all of that. You can't be the niggas from Chicago. You can't be the niggas from New York because that's not where you from. That's not what you are. And what I notice is like, you know, it's a lot of people that, not to say it doesn't happen. Every city has their, you know, their hoods, their tough areas, their all of that and stuff. But I would like to see us from Indy, like, talk about the other stuff, because Indy's got a lot of other pieces to it. And when you get out into the world, nobody is saying like, ah, yeah, Indy this rough ass place. So it's tough for them to relate when you do it. Yep. But see, if I'm a rapper out of Chicago and they talking about killing each other, people know Chicago as being that. People know New York as being a rough place. People know LA as being a rough place. People know Atlanta and Houston as being a party place. So they throw music at a party. You know what I'm saying? They don't try to give you, you know, gangster rap and saying they going and shooting up the neighborhood. So not to say the stuff's not happening in Indy. What I'm saying is indie artists, I would challenge us to find your lane, find what's different, because the world wants something different, not the same.
That's real, man. You ever listen to a Rod Hardy track? He's a natural. You know what I'm saying? It seems like he been doing this for years, but we only 1 year in, so I'm excited to see the future, man. One more time, where can everybody find you?
On Instagram, on Twitter, Rod Hardy _ RODHARDY RodHardyMusic.com. Check out my website. Like I said, merch coming soon, so continue to tap in with us. We everywhere. TikTok, same thing, Rod Hardy _
Bet. Everybody give Rod Hardy a round of applause, man. Shout out to Rod for being
appreciate
through.
y'all. Appreciate y'all.
Now it's that time.
Yeah.
Bless the mic. All right, man. Let's get into it. Next.